I discovered that I didn't do Galatians in the concording commentary, so that's what I'm going to do today. I am going to read the introduction to Galatians. Oh, foolish Galatians! Who has bewitched you? This is a good one. Good morning. Nice to be here. Thank you for joining me. I'm in my garage again. It's not so cold out here, so I'm wearing a nice, different jacket. All right, Paul's Galatian epistle is the divine commentary on the doctrine of justification, as set forth in the first 4 chapters of his epistle to the Romans. Sometime after Paul had been severed, Acts 13:2, and had gone among the nations, preaching justification by faith, Acts 13:39, and had returned to Antioch, Judaizing teachers came down from Jerusalem, teaching that if you should not be circumcised after the custom of Moses, you cannot be saved. Acts 15:1. The matter was taken up in the council of the apostles at Jerusalem, and Paul and Barnabas were sent with the decrees, which made it manifest that circumcision was not necessary for the nations who believed. Circumcision was not necessary. The law is not necessary. We're not under law, we're under grace. After they had delivered these decrees, Paul passed through the Galatian province, Acts 16:6, and founded the ecclesias to which the epistle is addressed, the Galatians. Some years later, he visited the Galatian province again, establishing the disciples. Acts chapter 18, verse 23. We never hear again that the Judaizers taught that circumcision was essential to salvation. The decrees of the 12 effectually forbade this. Now, however, they try to graft the law onto the evangel and make circumcision and the keeping of the law a further privilege and a means of perfection for the believers among the nations. It is against this subter form of error that this epistle is directed. O foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? Paul shows that the spirit and flesh, grace and works, faith and law cannot be reconciled. Paul is called upon to the present a defense of his evangel. This is divided into two distinct lines of thought. First, he discusses its origin and then its essence. He proves that its origin was quite independent of Peter and the 12. He demonstrates that its essence is incompatible with the keeping of the law. Then he further shows that its fruits cannot be produced in legal bonds. The origin of the evangel involves Paul's personal history after his call and his points of contact with the 12, especially Peter. He carefully rehearses the details of his 3 meetings with Peter, showing that he had no opportunity to receive his evangel from him, but that, in each case, he communicated his evangel to Peter and the others. The doctrinal defense discusses the difference between the Abrahamic and Sinaitic covenants, showing the priority of the Abrahamic promise and the subordinate and temporary function of the law. It acted as an escort during the minority of the chosen nation to lead them to Christ. It was a guardian suitable only for those under age. It must not continue. If faith came 400 years before its advent, it is in no need of law. When law utterly fails, then faith remains. Hence the utter folly of the Galatian ecclesias, to whom the law was never given by God, involuntarily subjecting themselves to its demands when they already had far more than it could ever give them. Before law came, and after it fails, the just lived by faith. It could never give either righteousness or life. The Galatians had both by the faith in Christ. In practice, the law is powerless through the flesh, but grace working through faith can overfill the law's demands by ignoring its commands and curses. All right, I'll show you the literary framework because I do that. There it is. Hold it up to the camera. The literary framework of Galatians. Awesome. So yeah, this is going to be a good one. I seen that I didn't read it, and I was like, yeah, why not? Couldn't find anything to read? Well, there you go. Galatians in the Concordant Commentary. So have a wonderful day. It is a Tuesday, and grace and peace.